Brett, how much confidence does this team have, or how much confidence does this instill in a team when you're able to, score 5 goals in front of 70,000 people?
Yeah, listen, all things considered, it was a good night for us in terms of the result, in terms of the performance. And then to top it off when you score 5, that certainly helps.
But the way the team was able to respond, obviously going down a goal, Devon scores a great goal, and then to take a commanding lead going into halftime.
Yeah, it was massive. It was a massive reaction. That was extremely impressive. I thought that was, obviously the result was good, but how we got to the result, I think, was probably even more important than the actual result. And so to then go and take the lead, then to concede early in the second half, give the penalty away, to then bounce back again, I think was a big step forward for us tonight.
Did you and the defenders have to make any adjustments when you found out that Messi wasn't going to be playing in this game? Because I think Gonzalez said you were prepared to see him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, regardless of I said before the game, they have talented players, and he didn't play. That's not our issue to deal with, right? That's not for us to worry about. We had to worry about the 11 players they did put on the field, and then obviously the substitutions they made. They signed obviously quality players in the summer transfer window, and so their team looks a lot different than it did at the beginning of the year. And so we knew whoever was going to be in that starting 11 was going to be a threat, and we had to make sure we were up for the game.
And you said the same thing for Atlanta United,
yep.
And that 4th goal, I think it was John Day to Thiago to Saba to Gio. What does that say about just kind of the quality that this team now has?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I talk about Miami making some good signings in the summer. We did exactly that, and so whenever you are open in a transfer window and there's ability to bring players in, you not only want to add quality, but you want to add good people, and I talked about that earlier in the week, and we've certainly done that, and those guys showed their quality tonight.
Brett, you said this. You guys needed a perfect game. You used the word flawless as well. How close were you guys to that? And were you happy with the physical part of the game as well?
Yeah, listen. We talked about afterwards. We talked about. The word we used in there probably isn't suitable for TV. We're gonna have to be tough tonight. We're gonna have to be tough, and it wasn't a game for maybe cute and fancy and tiptoeing on the ball. It was gonna be a real game, and it certainly played out that way. And so there's going to be areas we can look back at the video to get better on and review. But overall, like I said, it was a good performance.
Close to perfect.
What's that?
Close to perfect.
It's
tough.
I don't know. Like I said, there's certainly areas we can work on and get better in.
It's all talking about the fact that there was a lot of talk about this game. It was a lot of it talking about from the inner side of it. You guys seem to focus on yourselves more than anything else. Was that really a thing that you kind of pointed out and kind of worked on going again?
Yeah, listen, like I said, regardless if Messi was going to play or not, we know his ability on the ball, right? He's shown that time and time again, year after year, but that we can't control that. We had to control what we were able to control, and that was ourselves, in terms of how we approached the game, in terms of how we applied ourselves in the game for 90 plus minutes, and I thought we did that really well.
And you were speaking about playing tough. Can you take us through what happened? A little scuffle or after?
Yeah, listen. I mean, I pick up the ball, and next thing you know, there's a big scuffle in the goal. Listen, the rules have obviously changed now in terms of adding on extra time and this and that. So 7 minutes of added time, probably a couple of that, came from that scuffle. But listen, our team's got to restart the game. So regardless if I've got it or he's got it, I don't know what he's going on about, but. Yeah, that's probably just the heat of the motion, but it is what it is, so all good.
And as someone who's played for the U.S. national team, sorry, the lights right? Someone who's played for the U.S. national team, the big announcement today at the press conference about Atlanta kind of being the new headquarters for you personally. I mean, what does you think that means to the city of Atlanta and kind of soccer in general?
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Obviously, you hear that news, you see the commitment. From Arthur Blank in terms of what he's going to put forward for that facility, but it shows a commitment from the city of Atlanta, and I think tonight was a fantastic night for everyone in the stadium, everyone watching at home, to see what soccer in Atlanta is all about. And I said before the game, it was up to us to give 75,000 something to cheer about, and we certainly did that tonight.
Talk about the toughness and the physical nature of the game. How important is that
playoffs and other big games coming up?
It's huge. It's huge. When you talk about, when we won MLS Cup all those years back, that game in Toronto that we lost the Supporter Shield that night when we lost 3-0. We talked about what MLS playoffs are like, and listen, the rest of the year before this moment, it doesn't carry a whole lot of weight. Going forward, the next 5 games, those are massive 5 games you want to be going into the playoffs on a high and on the upswing, and if we play like we did tonight for the next 5 games, we'll certainly be doing that.
It's a young team, but it seems like it's matured
couple
really
more. Go ahead,
quickly with the way you guys are able to change the tempo, put a foot on the ball, not get caught into a back and forth like you did after the Cincinnati game. If you could speak to a bit about how you were able to do that tonight and stay within yourself.
Yeah, that was huge. We talked about that a little bit, especially beginning of the second half. We talked about that, not letting the game turn into that, because when it does, that's not when we're at our best. And so, going back and touching on the signing of the players that we've brought in, they've all got experience and the understanding of how to manage games and how to slow the game down and keep the ball moving, but at the same time not getting careless and just passing the ball backwards. We did that tonight, and I thought that part was a big positive for us.
We talked a little bit about the new signings, Saba, Tristan. It looked like they fit right in. Why do you think that is? It seems like they just jumped in and got you guys right off the bat.
Down to the rest of the guys. No, I don't know. Listen, you talk about experience. You talk about those guys coming in. They've played all around the world. So to come in, they've slotted in, and they've been great for us. And hopefully that's going to continue.
Of course, last time you were here, difficult result against Cincinnati. Nights like tonight, how important is that to returning Mercedes-Benz to the fortress you all talked about making?
Yeah, to get the result that we did tonight, to score 5 goals, to do it in the crowd and the atmosphere that we did, it was a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.